These viral coloring techniques look amazing, but honestly, they also look a little bit intimidating to try. That's why today I've made a list of 6 that I've been wanting to do, but I've been too scared to try. And today I'm going to choose them at random so I just get that little push I need. So I've input all 6 effects that I want to try into this wheelie thing on the internet: lo-fi, comic book, glitch, glow. Well, glow I've tried, but I haven't nailed it, so it's still intimidating to me. Zipper and puzzle. And now we're going to choose one at random and see what I get or have to do. Let's go. Okay, so we have lo-fi, and that's low-key the one I'm most scared about. There's something about it, the 2 markers, the placement of the shadows. It's a little bit scary to me, but we're going to give it a go. I've chosen pages in my books that could go with all of those 6 effects. So let me open my book and find that page. Okay, so for the lo-fi, I had chosen a page in Loved, and here it is. And for this one, I'm also gonna use my coloring companion to do a little planning because I wanna test the markers and see how they combine and they layer first. The first thing I'm gonna do is decide where the light is coming from. From the reference I saw, I decided to create the effect like we have a lot of light flooding in from a large window. And because where the light is coming from is so important, I'm going to use Cutie Bear here to stand in as the light source so that I can actually see and imagine the light hitting the scene. I am going to draw the shadows before we start. And I'm going to have the shadow of the partition of my imaginary window hit the scene in an angle first and then go up. I, of course, need to use a ruler for all of these lines. And the way I understand it is that the shadows will bend when they hit an object, so I'm offsetting the lines on top of things. Like the bunny's ear will be hit by the shadow first, so it wouldn't align with the shadow on the wall. I also decided to draw a frame around the image to contain all of the color for the effect to read better. Finally, I'm writing light or dark here on the border so I don't mix up the color areas. And I'm also using the coloring companion to swatch the markers that I want to use. I have 3 possible combinations, and because I'm using 2 markers only, I swatched each a lot of times to understand how they look after 1, 2, and 3 layers, because of course they become darker. I decided I'm going to go for a mix of the second and third option, and I'm going to do this peachy color with the turquoise. Let me erase the pencil lines a bit so they don't show up as much, and now we're ready to color. Here I go with the lighter markers since that's the least scary part. Oh, no, I forgot to put something behind to prevent the bleed. I'll deal with that later. I was so worried about drawing the shadows and getting to this effect first that I forgot to put something behind it. So the wall, which will be the lightest element, is now colored. So now it's time to cover all of the areas with shadows. That means with my darker color. Again, I'm going to do the back wall first, and as I color the rest, I'm being careful to offset the lines a little bit on each object so the shadow doesn't align and you get a 3D feeling from the drawing. All of the shadows done now, so to color everything else with peach. Okay, so I chose the wrong color. I don't know, my mind, maybe I should have not swatched so many, but 24, 25, and they're kind of similar, so I should have put the one that I'm not going to use away, but I had all of them here, so now I have the wrong marker, and I'm not sure of what I'll do. Maybe I'll go over it. Let's move forward, and I'll see what I do to fix this. Okay, let's just color everything else and see how the 2 colors look together when I'm done. I don't think I'll mind it being lighter because it's the back wall. No, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm just going to cover everything with the orange and hope that it looks a little bit better. So now we have 2 colors, and it's time to go over the areas where I want the shadows to be darker because they're hitting an element in the foreground. And I'll also make the shadows the objects create darker. Gotta tell you though, making this mistake with the orange so early on kind of is helping me relax a little bit about this technique. I don't know. I already screwed it up, so I'm just gonna go for it. I did the shadow behind the bunny, and I like how the 2 colors layered. It's a bit greener, but the whole thing is starting to look okay. So little by little, I'm losing the fear of this effect or of this technique. I'm finding it easier to add color and to put more shadows down and figuring things out as I go. Like, of course, here the bunny needs to have shadows on its own because it needs to be 3D. And maybe the little plant he's holding also needs to be a little bit darker just because it would look that way since it would be a different value than the bunny. Because I'm thinking this is a white bunny. I like the green better than the blue, so I'm just going to go over everything that's blue with orange so that I have two colors again. And now that I've done that, everything looks much better and it's easier for me to put shadows on everything else to make it make sense. So finally, I started adding details to the planters and the plants like pattern and stuff because as I said, I'm becoming more and more confident with this technique as I layer color. Then I'm just erasing my cheat codes that are still showing in pencil, and I'm using a fine liner to outline the frame I created. Okay, so that's our first page. I really, really like it. It's given me the courage to try this again. It looks better on the screen than what it looks here, but I think once you do it, it's a great exercise on applying shadows. Like it helped me understand a lot more, and yeah, just do it. I'm very proud of this. I'm so happy. Okay, so we're ready, and now let's choose another one. Okay, honestly, I don't want to do comic books, so okay, we have glow. Glow is the one of the least scary because I've done it before, like I said. But this time I've seen some tutorials that I want to follow, and I've chosen a page of my books based on that. So let me get this other book, and I'm going to do a page on Cozy Forest, my latest book, that I think would be perfect for this effect. Okay, so I have my page that I had already picked out. And now, again, I think I need to do some planning with my coloring companion. I'm going to look at the tutorials again and just choose some colors. So I've chosen my color palette and I have also tried it here on my coloring companion so that I know how the colors look together. And I also made a little sample blend with them to see how that goes. I know now that I want most of the flower to be yellow and then to go darker to the rest of the plant so the glow effect is on the petals. So here are my markers, and when I do blends like this, I keep all of them uncapped in one hand and then switch them out so I keep the paper wet and I don't lose time with the caps capping and uncapping. I think on this first flower I made the yellow area too big, so I'm going to go over it and adjust that. And for these next flowers, I already know how much I want of each color, so those are easier to color. Now that I've colored all three flowers, I'm going to do the stems with darker shades of purple, and I'm still blending a little, making it brighter towards the flower. Same thing for the leaves. I'm trying to figure out which areas would be lighter. And actually, as I color this second leaf, I just noticed I should have added some glow to the stem to the right of the flower here. Because it would get that glow, but that's okay. I can always add it as a highlight later with an acrylic marker. On the other side, I am remembering to do this, so I added a little bit of yellow first for the glow, and then I'm blending it and I'm coloring the rest of the plant. These little characters will also have to have some light reflected on them, so I colored that with the same yellow, marking those areas where the light would hit them. And then for the background, I am also going to create a limit on this page by drawing a circle behind them, since I think the glow effect is going to look better on a darker background. I'm moving on to the darker purples for the background, which I've also prepared and previously tested on my coloring companion. And I'm going to start with the lighter parts. Again, I'm going to outline the flowers with the light colors because they would give off that glow. I'm just doing some lines around them, and then I start blending all of the darker purples, making it darker as we move away from the flowers. So towards the edges of the circle, I'm using the darkest purple I have picked out. And then for my characters, I'm going to go with the light color palette, so a pale pink, melon, and purple. I wanted to choose colors that still fit in the original color palette. And oops, I missed coloring an ear and the wings. Okay, now they're ready. I chose the darkest purple for the ground, which made sense for a dark night scene, but I kind of regret it because you can barely notice what's going on. As things are drying, I'm adding more shadows and more details to give volume and texture.
I really want my characters to look fuzzy like a page I just finished coloring, so I'm drawing a bunch of little lines on top of them with the same color I used to color them. I'm also creating details on the wings by making them look like butterfly wings, and then I'm going back to the characters with darker shades of the same colors to add more fur and to create harsher shadows on them. As a last step, I'm going to use acrylic marker to outline the flowers so that they look very, very glowy. I'm using a very pale yellow here. And I also added those highlights we talked about, the ones that I forgot and wasn't very neat about. And then I'm also drawing a few yellow dots here and there in different sizes to make this look more magical. And actually, as I'm drawing these dots, I'm thinking it's still not popping out that much, so I'm gonna need to color the rest of the background black. And lately I've been trying to avoid to create black backgrounds because the pages always stained or bled through the pages that were before and after with this like yellow shadow. But I discovered on my last coloring video that if you varnish the page, this doesn't happen anymore. So I'm just gonna do that again. Now that I have the black background, I'm gonna outline the things I drew, even though you can barely see the black outline. And I'm also adding a purple outline to the ground to make it pop out a little bit more. Finally, I'm using white acrylic on the bottom of the flowers to make them look a tiny bit glowier. And I'm also gonna use the white to add some more magical dots. And this is the varnish I'm gonna use on the page, on the front and the back to keep that black from bleeding onto other pages.
And this is our end result. I really, really like it. Oh, let me get this out here. I really, really like it. I think it's a little bit of an improvement. I don't think I'm still there. Maybe I needed to add a little bit more glow now that it's done. But I'm excited about it because I think definitely this book is perfect for glow effects. Like when I was drawing it, I did envision it to be a little bit like Pandora vibes. And this is another glow page that I tried before. So I think there's definitely, where is it? There's definitely an improvement, and I'm happy about that. Now let's see what the last page would be. Still don't want comic book because I fear that will take a long, long time. So let me choose another one. Oh, it's Glitch. Actually, this one I'm kind of excited about now because I was gathering some reference images on how to color, and I have this image. I'll put it here somewhere. And I think it's gonna work and it's gonna be nice. So let me get back to Love because the illustration I chose for Glitch is in this book. So, okay, I have my page and let me jump in.
So this is the second copy of my book Love that I'm coloring. I already filled one completely and it's 50 pages, but this one is becoming my favorite book because I'm experimenting so much with it. I have my Bad Bunny page here that I love, and I'm doing most of my artist inspired pages in here as well. But back to Glitch and this birthday scene. This is the one I'm going to use. I've seen many tutorials on how people do Glitch, and basically everyone just uses red and cyan. But I saw this Glitch image when I was looking for inspiration for this video, and I really, really like it. I like all of the color on it, so this is what I'm going to try to do. I hope using all of the primary colors gives me a more dramatic effect, a more fun effect maybe. And because I don't really know how to do this, I'm just going to jump in. I'm going to start here with the bird to see how it goes. And as I'm adding this color, I'm thinking maybe I should have kept my reference image next to me to see where the colors were applied to create the glitch, because I don't think this is really working. It looks weird, and I think I chose the wrong green. And now that I see the image, every color goes on the same spot, on the same side. I think it wasn't a great plan to do this from memory, so yeah. Yeah, my bird is definitely not looking glitched, at least not yet. So I'm going to try the same thing with acrylic markers, because with the acrylic I can go over the black outlines easier and cover some things to create the glitch. But see, now the problem with using acrylic markers is that they don't layer, and one will cover the other. And I liked on my bird how when I layered the alcohol markers, I was creating these other colors that look better and glitchier. So I'm just gonna go back to the alcohol markers, put the reference image away because it's confusing me, giving me anxiety, and I already didn't use it, so I'm just gonna go for it. And as I place the colors down, I'm just going to try to imagine how these would offset the image. I'm going to put them at either side of the outlines and going to mix them a little bit and try to create the pixelated effect from my reference image. I am done with the cat, which is the central character, and yeah, I kind of like how the layering of the alcohol markers gave me these additional colors, and it looks like old TV or like VHS getting stuck, kind of what I'm going for. So I like the various colors and how they're looking on this. And here, I'm just gonna trust the process. So sorry for babbling because I'm really just doing this. So I'm just gonna carry on with the cat to see how it looks when I'm done, and I actually think it looks okay. Maybe if I create some more parallel lines, it would look more as a glitch. Now I'm going to work on the rest of the scene, and I'm going to do an effort to keep the warmer red lines to one side and the cooler cyan blue lines to the other one, just to make it more apparently red and more apparently blue like in other examples I've seen. And then I'm going to complete the spaces I leave in between the colors with the other colors, so it matches what I've done before, and it looks more like the other glitch effects that I've seen that look more successful than mine so far. Okay, I think I'm done with putting color around every single outline, so now I'm gonna go and do more of the glitch lines of these parallel horizontal lines with a white acrylic marker and then with a black pen to reinforce the idea that the image is in fact glitching. You know what? I just realized my reference image has a lot of black, and maybe that's what's helping the glitch be more noticeable. So I'm gonna color all of the circle in the background with black to see if everything pops out a little bit more. And I think that definitely helped a lot. And my daughter just showed up and she told me that the glitch lines are not working because I'm not cutting through the outlines of my original drawing. So I'm just going to fix that and add a bunch more that cut through the outline of the drawing.
Okay, I think her tip really helped me because it's looking so much better. I do think it looks like a glitch. And I'm happy because this one didn't take as long and it's getting really, really hot in my studio today. And I think it worked. It's different from everything I've seen where they only use two colors, but I really, really like it. Let me know, what do you think about this one? That's it from me today. I'm happy I'm done with the shorter one because it's getting really hot here in my studio this afternoon. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like me to try any other intimidating coloring trends, because I will. I just need a little push from you and I will. And that's it from me today. This is everything we colored today. I hope you enjoyed our time together and that I'll see you on next week with a brand new video. Have the most wonderful day. Bye.